Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream of Parent to Parent. I am Tania Farran. I'm your host for this event that I host twice a month, Parent to Parent. Excited to be here, and I have an amazing guest with me tonight who I consider a single parenting expert, even though she works in a field where she works with other parents and couples. But for me, she's kind of my go-to single parent expert. So I love talking to her about the topic of parenting and her unique style of parenting. I want to give you as much information quickly before I bring her up. A couple of things. First of all, if you are in the chat, please make a comment. If you're watching, ask us some questions, contribute to this conversation. We would absolutely love that. Drop your name in there and where you're from. Would love to hear from you. I also want to share some resources. I'm all about getting you some resources. And so I want to make sure that you see some of these resources. My Parent to Parent YouTube channel has just been developed. It is just evolving. It is a baby. So if you could go in there, you'll see this image, me in the red shirt. I always say that, me in the red shirt, Parent to Parent YouTube channel. This is where I will live stream twice a month on here. Plus, I've been doing readings of my book, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, a Parent's Manual on here, just small parts of the chapters and doing some discussions in here, as well as going in and giving some parenting tips and some parenting strategies for you to utilize throughout your time of being a parent. So a great channel for you to be a part of and to subscribe. It is free to subscribe to that. Also, my book that's on here, and I can show you, you'll see other covers of my book here, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, a Parent's Manual. It's on Amazon. If you search my name, Tania Farran, it will pop up, and it is on super duper sale still right now, 99 cents for the Kindle, $5.99 for the paperback. It's a great deal, along with this book study that I have. My next book study session is next Thursday. And so we'll be talking about and diving into the first 3 chapters of Raising the Well-Adjusted Child. It's free. So come join me for that. So reach out to me, send me a message if you're interested in that, and I will send you a Zoom link to join us and get you a part of our parenting group. So would love to have you for that. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping information to get us started, but I'd love to bring my guest up, Erica Kesse. So welcome, Erica Kesse, to the stage. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Tell everyone a little bit about you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Erica Kesse, a love force with mysterious wisdom, celebrating life. I'm a multifaceted leader and mommy, a therapist, and CEO of Your Goal Concierge. We offer a plethora of options for leaders who may be experiencing imposter syndrome or burnout, those who are looking for their right fit solutions. We have a plethora of options. And if you check out www.yourgoalconcierge, you'll be able to see all of our offerings on the homepage. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, Dr. Farran, for bringing me in and allowing me to be a part of your parent-to-parent opportunity.
Yeah, love having you here. So we met a few years ago. I think I was hosting a parenting room and have just hit it off and really enjoy each other's content and what we're creating, and have, I feel like, similar vibes with the people that we work with. We like the same styles and vibes of people, and I love that definitely about us. So without just jumping into some things, I remember the first time we talked, you had talked to me and shared with me that you were a single parent yourself. And so at that point in time, you shared some and shed some light on duties and things that single parents do. And I would love to hear about that. How do you balance it all? You are an entrepreneur. You are a licensed therapist. You are a mom full time. How are you balancing all of these duties that are required as a parent? And do you have anybody that you rely on, or who do you rely on?
Oh, okay. So I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. So it's based on what needs my attention and effort in the moment. Basically, you triage every day where you need to put some focus, and you give focus to that thing. So I am all about having a harmonious life. I am all about making sure that I have things intentional and specifically written down on how I'm going to map out my day. It all begins with the morning routine, meditation and drinking my tea in silence, letting those thoughts just come to me and tell me how I should move and interact in my life. I even get like glimmers of who I should reach out to if maybe something is calling me to speak to a particular person. And then it is to the races, all the things that need to be done that are specifically and intentionally put on my calendar. And I'm a person all about commitment and consistency. That's one thing that my daughter loves about me that sometimes she doesn't see in other people, is that I am committed and consistent about what I say I'm about. I'm a woman of integrity. And so that is how I really rule my life. And that is how I have harmony in my life, is that I do what I say I'm going to do. I have integrity about what I have put down, and I go ahead and do that. Who supports me? Now, I would say about 5 years ago, I really did not have that. I was looking for a social support system, and I knew that it was necessary to have one. But now today, my support system is booming. I have a COO, and she's not just working with me in my business, but I consider her to be a business bestie. I have Keisha Johnson, Tara Payne, who I interact with. Both of them one is a mother and a grandmother. Another is my co-founder of Maven's Meet. She has a daughter as well. She is married, and I can talk to her about what's going on with me as a parent, as a CEO, as someone who came through with doing administrative roles, and now I'm a CEO of my own business. Then my daughter. My daughter she has more intelligence, emotional intelligence than anyone else. And I think it has everything to do with me not putting conditions around her. I've allowed her to be in flow as she is, to be authentically herself. But I also asked her to make sure she asked herself her own questions of who am I? What is my vision? What are my values? And we do that kind of work. I really take pride in incubating her to be the best representation of who she wants to be in her life. But who else supports me? I have a new partner now that I am really excited about, that I've kindled up, and I've decided I was just ready to settle and be involved with the man that's going to take care of me. Okay. And so came right along. And so we're working on that. And who else? Oh, I have a team of two ladies who I hired them originally to be administrative people, and they have become family. And so much so that they actually work for me for free right now while I am working on some things regarding your Gold Concierge, which is outstanding. And I think it has everything to do with feeling connected to me and my mission and my vision. Who else? I have a crowd of different people who step in to be there for me. Let me think. Those are the I think about right now. I do have a lot of people capital.
Sure.
Because of who, how I move. I'm always highlighting other people. So when you're a person like that, people want to hang with you.
I love it. I absolutely love that. And, there's so many people who are single parents and they're like, it's just me. I am alone, and I talk to them about who can you ask for help. And I love that you highlighted, most people think help means childcare for my child. That's what they think the help really means. Well, I don't need a babysitter, or, your child I know is a teen, but, I don't need someone to supervise my child. But, there's more help that can be done, whether it be taking some things off of your plate for your businesses, just another mom to talk to and just to bounce ideas off of and to get ideas. Like, that is incredible, right? To be able to have that support system. I loved hearing you say that your meditation in the morning, you take some time and you're thinking and planning out your day. Who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to reach out to? And let those thoughts flow. That was one thing for myself. Even as a parent, I had to wake up a little earlier in the morning. And I love this story. This story is so funny to me. My daughter, when she was 2, she was always kind of fussy when I'd get her in the car. And I thought it would be great if I would just scoop her up, Erica, out of her PJs, throw her in the car, hand her a granola bar, and drive her to the childcare, because I thought I was letting her sleep longer. This was great, right? I'm being a really nice mom. She's 2 years old and finally expressed to me she needed stretch time. And I said, "What is stretch time? What does that mean?" That basically meant she wanted to sit on the couch and wake up and let her thoughts go and get her day started, And so incredible, right? The things that we do, we don't always understand that our kids do or our kids need. And so I love that you do that. So my gosh, so many things that you've already just said, you just reminded people to get up and plan their day. I remember being in another conversation with you, Erica, and someone's like, "Well, how do you keep it all together?" And you're like, I have a calendar. I agree. I'm the same way, Erica. Like, you put it on the calendar and then it's there and then you do it.
Right here.
You put it on the calendar and then you do the things. It is consistency. And, so much of what you've already just said are chapters in my book. I talk about consistency and routine. Kids need that. Humans need that. People need that. We all want to know what we're walking into when we go into work. So our kids want to know that in their life. So love all of that. So thank you so much, Lisa Fevick, for joining us tonight. Excited for you to be here. Thank you very, very much. And Christy Williams, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you. And then Erica, we're going to get to this, but I'll go ahead and drop it up here now. I'm going to get to this kind of as we're at the end, and you can tell us about this site. I've got it pulled up. But I've got a few more questions for you to enlighten the group with about single parenting. And I love that you reached out in so many different facets of your life with so many different people, and you have a beautiful team. You have a beautiful support system for you, for your daughter, and I'm sure you're equally as supportive to them. I know the relationship that you have with people. I know that you give your whole heart and you care about people, and so I'm sure that is definitely reciprocated for sure. One thing I want you to talk about, which is a little bit different. Well, I'll get to that one in a minute, but you do have a unique parenting style with your daughter. You had just said that you ask her. She's 13. Am I right?
Yes.
What are your goals? What do you want to do? What is your plan? She's 13 years old. I'm sure those plans change. I'm sure those goals have changed since maybe the time she was 10. How do you start something like that? Your parenting style, you've got your daughter included in your business. She's an entrepreneur already at 13.
How do I start it?
Yeah.
I started it with me before COVID. I had an office and was seeing counseling clients there. And it's very important. It was very important to me, or is still, for her to have male role models. As a single mother, or if you're a parent, okay, it's important for you to set up a social support system for your children. It could be a coach, it could be teachers, it could be their friendships. You should be intentional about that. And that's what I've always done with her. So it was a situation where a support system person did not deliver, or the expectation changed. And so she had to be in the office with me. So I had a lobby. She was only 5. I had a lobby and I had the office in the back, and we had coffee and tea and the bathroom in the front. So people come through the front door. But it was a place where no, it wasn't high traffic. If you had to know that we were there to come. So sure. I didn't have any problems with like random people coming into the door. But I was listening anyway, because We
Yeah.
always have we always are paying attention. I know what she's doing even now because of our ears. We just know what they're doing, why they're doing it. If we need to call them, they get too quiet, you got to call them. Anyway, so I was doing that. I needed her to be in the lobby. She sat in the lobby, and I don't know if you all know, dog beds are really soft. So I got her a little dog bed, and she sat in the lobby in the dog bed with her tablet. But she took it upon herself, because I would walk out and I would say, "Would you like some coffee? Would you like some tea? Here's the bathroom," and I'll show them around. So she took it upon herself to stand up and do that when people came in the door.
How nice. I love
At
that.
5. So
Wow.
I said, well, she wants to be all involved. She said she wanted, then she said she wanted to be a therapist. And I said, maybe you should rethink that. But she has always mimicked me. It's a story that I'll tell is she always would find a reason to get in my shoes when I got home from work or got anywhere. As little as, I have a picture of her putting herself in my shoes, and she told me that that is what she's here to do. She says, "Mom, you can walk through the sand, and the sand is hard to get through it, but I'm just going to walk the path that you already made for me."
I love
And
that.
so we have had tons of conversations about that. She's a legacy girl like me. We're building something to go somewhere. I may not have had certain things that I should I think that people should have, a background where you get money left over or whatever.
Sure.
But my daughter is going to have that. We are building a legacy together, and we've already planned out all the things on how she's going to take over my business. So it's a lot of conversation. I was, even when she was in elementary school, I would be like, "So girl, what happened today?" Because I wanted to know what was going on in school, because there's a lot of things going on in school, y'all. They had boyfriends, they was slicking edges, they was going in little holes and doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, all kinds of. My daughter would tell me all the tea. All right. I needed to know. And I was also out in the school a lot. But then when COVID happened, I decided to homeschool her. So with that homeschooling, I had to kind of help her unlearn some of the institutionalization that happens in school, where they have kids walking in lines, they have kids sitting quietly all the time and taking lectures. I wanted her to have a life where she got to build her own curriculum. So she is teaching herself Japanese right now. She does art. She also writes. She has a journal that she's already got completed. And then she has a book that she's working on. So anybody is a illustrator out there, my daughter needs to illustrate it for her book. It's called If You Give a Kid a Plan.
Oh, I love that.
Because I have always given her a plan. And so at the end of the book, and this is how she runs her life, he decides, "Mom, you gave me this plan and it worked out so great. I want to build my own plan." That's exactly the problem that I see with a lot of people that I work with in counseling. They were never empowered enough to create their own plan.
Yeah, amazing. She is an amazing young lady. I've been able to see some of her posts and newsletters and emails and things like that she sends out. And you're just teaching her real life, a lot of real life survival, growth, entrepreneurship, believing in herself, some confidence, and just some really amazing things that you're being able to give her, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And I love that she's excited about being part of your business. But you also took the opportunity. So give yourself a little bit more credit too, because you also saw that light in her as a mom, and you saw that when she wanted to do that, and you gave her that responsibility, and then encouraged her and talked her through it more and more and more and more. And there's a lot of kids that show that light, but parents don't always pick up on that. So, knowing what you can do with that, when you see that in your child or see a strength in your child, how do you tap into that strength? again, it may not always be what you want to do or you want your child to do, but if you see that strength in your child, just so happens yours wants to mimic you. You know, other people may have a child who has a strength that's not to mimic their parent, but how do we encourage that and teach them to grow and to have their own plan? I love it.
Well, I do have to correct this just in case she listens and sees this. She definitely does not want to be me. No, she is more of a quiet, calculated person.
Okay.
She is. I am visibility wing woman. I'm out in the limelight, you know, sharing my story. She is. She's very particular about who she interacts with.
I love that.
She really does not like a lot of people. She's introverted. I'm extroverted. She senses who she should interact with, and she is bold about saying what her boundaries are. I'll have to say sometimes mine are not as firm because before I learned conditioning to kind of please people sometimes.
Yeah.
She has never learned that. Like she didn't have to do that because I never made her do that.
You empowered her to not have to do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. No, thank you for clarifying that for me.
I need to clarify for her because she's like, Mom.
No. She's going to say, no, I don't want to be like you.
Listen, I don't want to get in trouble.
I love that. I love that. So we're going to go back to you now. So what is your favorite me time activity?
Me time activity is napping, honey. Napping. I feel like I have 2 days in one when I get my naps. I love me a nap. I did a little snooze before I got on here, actually. When I can get 2 in, woo, this is a good life. The earlier one was only 15 minutes, and this one right here was about 15, maybe 16 minutes before I decided to come on in here and do this because I had to get a nap. I love it. It's my favorite. One of my favorite things. I feel like it started really getting into what I'm really about is a lot of moms, single moms, parents are tired.
Yes.
Tired. Yeah. I'm talking about deep down soul tired. Tired physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Tired. And it's because we lose ourselves because we think we are parents. No, you should never lose yourself.
We do. We kind of think we have to be like incredible super mom. Like, I think we like, for some reason, we think that we do. And I probably about 2008, and I said, I'm done. Like, I don't want that title anymore. Like, I want to be a really great mom, but I don't want to have to be able to do it all. And, you know, when parents can start learning how to ask for help, or they can start, you know, identifying what do they need. So like you, I call what you do as a power nap. Like, I just need a power nap. Now, when my kids were, and I'll notice it, like I'll be in the middle of the day and I'm fumbling now, you know, like on a Saturday, I'm fumbling, I'm dropping this. I can't remember why I went in this room. I'm tired. My legs are tired from walking through the whole house. You know, like I'm losing my mojo. And then I'm finally like, just go lay down. You're going to feel amazing in 25 minutes. Just go. Why are you fighting this and dropping this and putting that in the wrong room and adding the wrong thing to your coffee or whatever you're doing, you know? And so I don't know. And I don't know why we sometimes don't feel that way, but we do. I don't know. Now, my kids, I have to say, this was one thing. If I had to pick the one thing, a rest time was always instilled in my house. My kids in their 20s still have a rest time on the weekends. They want it. They love it. Like, it is their time. Like, when parents come to me and they say, well, my kids don't take a nap anymore. They've outgrown it. And I thought, who outgrows a rest? Not me. I'm 55 and I am enjoying a rest. It recharges my body. It recharges my batteries. I can think again. This is why our kids and our family and our husbands get crabby, our spouses, our partners, friends, whomever we're hanging with, because we have lost our energy. We've got to recharge. And, when my kids were little, I said, that's fine. You don't have to go to sleep. You have to go in your room. You have to shut the door and be quiet, read a book. And they still, to this day, in their 20s, that is their thing.
Yes.
We kind of plan it around. I'm like, you want to go shopping in the morning? Because I'm going to go home and take a nap. A nap is scheduled in my day. I love that you do that for yourself. What do you want your daughter to learn from you this year?
I think she already learned it. So I was having a conversation with her. We talk a lot. And I think that, let me just say that again. When people interact with us, they say, wow, you talk with each other a lot. And that is not happening in family. So if you are hearing this, please find questions and reasons to continue to talk to your kids and hold space and just stare and wait for them to respond. I don't care if they're a teenager or not. Just stay right there and wait until they give you a response. Okay? Yes. Because communication is important. So what I think she learned was I was in a contract, okay, and they were not moving in integrity. And so I left the contract. It was a contract that was big and it was really beneficial for our family.
Mm-hmm.
And my integrity is more important than money. Yeah. My legacy is more important than money. Yeah. And she saw me do that. And she even said, Mom, I thought you was crazy when you left that contract, but I am impressed with you.
Oh.
And that is what I am about. And that's what I want to be known for. And for my daughter to say, yeah, my mama do this. This is the way, like, I feel proud of her. Yeah. For being someone who stands on her integrity. And there's not a lot of people who actually are about that. I actually do appreciate you, Dr. Farran, because I know that you are that kind of person, which is the reason why I am taking time to do this with you. I am very particular about the people I interact with. They need to be moving in the same way. And integrity is number one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm sure that she learned a valuable lesson, or watching that, and that is something that's so important. We have to remember that we are our children's first teacher. They are learning from us. And you said that very early on. They are learning from us. They are watching what we do. They're watching our interactions. They're watching our conversations. They're watching who we're talking to, how we're talking to them, how we're responding when we get good news, bad news, and, it is so important that we are doing a self-check, right? We're looking at ourselves and saying, where am I at? And I love that. I love that she sees the integrity in you, and that is incredible. That's incredible. How do you express your love for your daughter? I love to talk about love. I really love to talk about loving our kids, and I don't think it happens enough. I think we as parents, as a society, we complain about our kids a lot. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. We might brag about them a lot. They got the honor roll, they got this, they got that. But how do you show her that you love her?
Well, I think kind of going back to the love languages, I think that a lot of parents don't do that. Ask them, give them an assessment to find out what their love language is and do that. I just think love is easy. It's so easy. But we make it very complicated. I think that every single client that comes through to see me, every single one of them is basically asking, why is it that this person don't love me? Mm-hmm. And it's because that person hasn't decided. Well, first, you were not able to communicate with them how to love you and be clear on that, because maybe you never knew and thought about what love is and how it feels and what you want. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, she tells me exactly. Her love languages is quality time. So I make sure that I give that to her. We sit together, we eat our brunch, we eat our dinner together. And that's what I just came back from. And then I took a nap on her shoulder. That is exactly what we do. Okay, that is what we do.
Yeah.
She likes to watch anime. I'm really hadn't been in like, it's not a big deal. I'm not a TV person, but that's what she likes to do. So I do that with her. I also get involved in whatever she wants to get involved with because she's about anime. Now she want to learn how to teach herself how to speak Japanese. So now I know some words. Musume Taskate, I say, which means daughter, help me. I say, because I do call that out sometimes because she's my teammate.
Sure.
She, after I have had to increase the amount of clients I've needed to see, and in that we had a conversation. She's my teammate. I said, I would like for you to actually do our brunch and our dinner. I used to do brunch. She used to do dinner. I said, I need you to do it right through here. I need you to do both of them. And she said, okay. Well, she also really likes to she's a homemaker too. She likes to be at home and clean up, and she gets her kicks off with laundry.
I need to borrow her.
Listen, I'm so happy that I have a child that loves that. She has a little apron, everything. But anyway, so I just love her by spending time with her. We talk about things that we see, and we just talk as much as possible. We always say, good night to each other. Just have those times to spend and talk. I asked her about her dreams because she's one of those people that have those vivid, lucid dreams, and so she'll be waking up, and sometimes the dreams are so much for people because I don't remember my dreams, so I don't even understand this whole situation. But because she has these lucid dreams, and then it just mess up her whole day, I'm like, okay, well, so let's talk about your dream and what happened in your dream. We're just processing that with her. So I do a lot of processing. She's definitely a therapist kid because I'm like, I feel some energy. Let's talk about it. Because their energy, especially girls, their energy, and I'm like, I need you to clean that up because it's too much. It'll take up the whole space. Let's process what's happening. So we also do cuddling and tickling that we do as well. We play games. Oh my goodness, she loves beating me in Monopoly. So, I mean, we have a lot of we love libraries. We love libraries and going to the library and getting books. And she likes to write books. So I read her books, and she's read my book a couple times, Honey, You Need Counseling Skills. So we just
love it.
It's her. It's me and her. We're a cute family. And we have a certain culture about ourselves where it means that everybody needs to be acknowledged on a regular basis. I don't go 2 hours without checking in to see where she is and what she's doing, that she's doing what she's supposed to be doing based on the calendar that she has set for her day.
Yes. I love it. I love it. What an amazing mom you are. You're incredible. People are going to learn so much from you. I just wanted to share, I remember, several times my one daughter she'd get really large energy, loud noise, boisterous, and I'd be like, I think you need attention from me. And she's like, yes, I do. Okay, great. So what do you need from me? And if you stop and you look at them and you ask them what they need or give them the time and attention, you're going to find out what they need, and it's going to make life a lot easier for you. I love that. Thank you, Jackie, for being here so much. I appreciate you. And thank you also, Nick, for being here. That silly LinkedIn probably just acts up every now and again. I know we're over on time, but for just a few minutes, if you want to explain to us about Thrive Oasis, and I know you dropped in that Thrive plan that you provided for us at the virtual wellness experience as well. I have my Thrive plan. And so you want to talk to everybody about this a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you so much for putting that up there. Wow. Okay. So if you are a mom leader out there and you need to sit down and be with yourself, if you need to take some time to face yourself, you see, it says embrace solitude. You need to get away sometimes to rest and reset where there's no energy. Remember, I told you about always hearing, always sensing our kids. When they're around us, they're all like, you can't help but have that mama mode on. Get away to be able to connect with yourself. So I built a Thrive Oasis retreat space where people can go for 3 days and enjoy the beautiful city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and reset. During that time, you can opt in for a chef. You can opt in for a Thrive strategist that's going to walk you through making sure you feel okay, because sometimes people get by themselves and then they don't even know how to be with themselves. Like, it becomes overwhelming. But it's really a place for you to rest and reset. It's also a place for you to create. So people who live in Tulsa has that space to be able to go in and do podcasts and everything else. It has natural light, and it's just a beautiful space for people to go and experience. And so I knew that I wanted this for moms. And I know I keep saying moms because that's just what it is.
That's a market audience. I get it. That's totally fine.
The thing is, we are the first leaders of our children because we're the one that holding them. We're holding them for that time frame inside of us, incubating them. So whatever we're doing with ourselves affects them, even as while they're inside of us. So we need to make sure that we're good. We need to be overflowing. We need to understand that. And that's why maybe can counteract some of the postpartum that happens when women go ahead and give birth and then they have postpartum. So it's really important to realize that it's so good to keep yourself, even though you've taken on the role of mother, keep yourself and find time to reset. I used to have mama me time. I would tell my daughter, okay, I'm about to have mama me time. Go ahead. Go ahead. I need you to play 15 minutes, mama me time. And she knew what mama me time was. I would walk outside into my deck and just look outside and be there with myself because I just needed to get away from it all. That's what the Thrive Oasis is about. We've had some ladies go by there, really excited about other moms showing up and facing themselves. They can even get a strategic planning session personally and professionally while they're there. They have an in-person concierge that is there for them, and also a holistic health practitioner that they can spend time with, who will give them massages, acupuncture, and facials, whatever they are wanting. They get to curate their own experience.
That sounds incredible. Thank you for doing that for moms. Incredible. I love it. My gosh, Erica, this has been a pleasure. I always enjoy talking to you. I always enjoy hearing what you're up to, what you're doing, who you're helping these days, because you're always helping somebody. And so how can other people get in touch with you? What are some of the other services that you provide for them? I know you shared it at the very beginning, but if you'll share it at the end again.
Okay, yes, you all. The way to reach out to me is to go ahead and go to thriveoasis.life. That is what I'm specifically promoting. I would love if you would go there. There is a community. There is the Thrive Studio where you can create there in solitude and enjoy yourself. And then there's also a retreat space for you to be able to just take some time away. That's what I have decided, that even though I'm a multifaceted mommy and leader, I want to make sure that I highlight exactly what I am coming, and I've been intentional about only talking about thriveoasis.life. If you want to learn more about me, always find me on LinkedIn. There's so much there going on. I have a live weekly announcements that has all the things that I have going on that you see every week. So you can't miss some of the things I have going on. But I do have a lot as a multifaceted woman, but I don't want to overwhelm people today. Thriveoasis.life is where you can go, check it out, and see if you want to get yourself a retreat.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. I am happy to be able to be on this parenting journey with you. And thank you for helping everybody watching. All right, everyone, that closes us out for today. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye now.